Hi, welcome. So we are going to continue with the SQL commands in this video. And in this video precisely, we are going to look at aggregation functions. So things like sum, count, min, max. So you would need to learn how to use this so that you can be able to get some summary statistics from your data, which will help give more information to your audience. So if you haven't looked at the video before where we were importing or creating the data set we are currently using, you can just go back a couple of videos and look at them. Or if you haven't also installed my SQL Workbench, there are a couple of videos earlier on that you can just go back and look at so that you can be able to install Workbench and be on the same page here. So we are just going to go straight to the computer and look at these aggregation functions like sum, count, min, max, and subsequent video we are going to see how to combine this with things like group by and really get some interesting insight from our data. So let's just go straight to the computer and then we look at those functions. So here I'll just comment here what we'll do. So remember, for long comments, multiple lines, you just put that, and then you can have your count, sum, and then get your min, and then get your max here. So that's what we'll be looking at. I'll just end it to the same way I started it, so like that. And then here we are going to, this is the database we created. So you can always go back and check the video so that you run the script and get this same database. And then I'll just want to open up this staff demographic. So we are going to say select. It's good, always good to put your commands in capital letters. Select, yes, select star from. Now staff demographic. So let's just click there. We run it. So we see we have all our data here. So you might be in a situation where you want to count how many rows do I have here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rows. So that is where you're going to use the count function. And let me just show you how to do that. So you're going to say select so count, then you have your star here, then you go to from. Again, it's good to put them in capital letters, from, then staff demographic. Now, so this select is complaining here because we not close this semicolon here. So let's just close that, and then we run just this line because we don't necessarily want to run this again. We run just this line. So let me run that. So you see, just like we counted, we have 10 rows here. So the count has been able to help us count and get the number of rows here. So now another thing you might want to do, let me just take off this one. If you run this, you might want to count the number of, let's say, number of times you have male, so it's supposed to be 2, or the number of times you have female, which is supposed to be 8. So you can still use the count function to count and use a where now to give the condition, like filtering again, like we saw in the last videos. Filtering, like when you're filtering in Excel, the where is like the filtering. So let's see that. So again, you're going to do select count. Now you're going to specify the column because you're more interested now in the column. Let me just see the name again, gender. So we are interested in gender. So now gender, then we say from, go down here, we do the from. Our table name now is the staff demographic. Staff demographic. And then we have the where again. Where now. Gender. Gender equals to male. So let's run this. So you get a count of 2. So remember, even if you had put a star here, so let's just put a star here and you run it, will still give you 2, which is the count of the different, all the times that you have male here. So if we take female here and run it, we are going to get now for the female, so it's 8. So the count, you're able to count a specific column and maybe specific condition. So you can even have a where gender equals to female and this maybe account number equals to that, or, and then you'll be able to count and it just give you the exact number here. So that is something you can use your count for. So let's look at sum. So for sum, it will be similar because if, for example, we run this, now we want to say, let me go to the other table with the salary so that we can get the sum of the salaries. So let's instead do select star from this one, staff salary here, this one. So I'm just going to bring this other table and then we run just this one. So we have this. So we want to be able to get the total salary that is being paid to all this staff. That's where we are going to use the sum aggregation here. So we can just go here and say instead sum. So just modify this sum, and then we sum now here. So we are summing this salary because that's a column that let me just write it to the right, salary. So you are summing it from the staff salary, and then you want to get the sum of this, so you don't need the where here. So let's select this, run it, so we get the sum. So this gives us the sum of all the salary like we saw from this table. So it gives you the sum of this. And then now you could decide to have a condition. Maybe you want to sum just the salaries where, say for example, the job title is receptionist, just like we saw up here. So you will now add a where then you get the job title. I'll just take this job title here, equal to, now you put your string, then you say receptionist. Now let's run just this line, ignoring this one up here. So you see it sums up, it gives you the sum of just when the job title equals to receptionist. So also same thing for the mean, just like you guess. So we could say we want to get the minimum salary. So let's run this first and see. So what is the minimum salary here? The minimum salary here, if we just click here, should be 35,000. So let's do the same thing here. Select now again, you just change this to minimum, to mean, and then we run this. So now even if we take off the where here, so it means the receptionist, we had the same one. And then we can always look at things like average too, the same thing, AV. So we can look at average here, AVG to the average salary. So that gives you the average. And then we can also look at the max So here again, you can go here and then you change this to max. So here we are saying give us what's the maximum salary, 65. So let's verify here to see. Let's run it, and then if we do that, we see that the maximum salary here is 65 and the minimum is 35. So we are able to get these aggregation functions and we're able to get our count, sum, min, max. So with this now, we can be able to give some summary statistics from it for your data. And remember, it's almost the same thing you would have been doing in Excel, which we've seen in previous videos. So if, for example, you said you wanted to get the staff salary, staff salary as a spreadsheet, so that would mean that you can also go there and then you click here, we closed all of this, then you do the same thing. So if you had to get the sum, it will be the sum like this, maybe down here with your, or you get the formula equal to sum that. So it's the same thing you're doing with the sum that you've done in SQL. The sum, you got the same thing, and then you want to get the count. Remember the count function, count, that we did. So you can get the count here. So yeah, almost the same thing. You're using 10 again, and then you can also filter out if it's just where. Remember the where is the filtering. So maybe where the receptionist, or maybe if you want to get the count, the reception is this, or the sum. So it's almost the same thing. Just know now that you're able to use these aggregations in SQL almost the same way you use them in Excel. And then in the next video, we are going to look at how to use this again in combination with another command, which is the group by command. So I hope you have been able to learn how to use aggregation functions like count, sum, min, max, and average. And then we are going to continue in the next video to use these aggregation functions along with things like commands like group by. So hope you enjoyed this video. See you next video. Wish you good data now.